So, so like the wind. What I've got here is a Gambeson. Now Gambesons show up all over medieval Europe. They could be worn independent because they do distribute blows quite well just in and of themselves, but they're typically worn in conjunction with mail, coats of plates, plate armor. You'll see a lot of terms used interchangeably but not always correctly, such as akatons, padded jacks, arming doublets, but there are significant differences in construction. There's two main methods of making a Gambeson, and that is either multiple layers lined up, just a whole bunch of layers, and then quilted together, or you could have an inner and outer layer with padding in between, be it scrap material, wool, horsehair, anything that can go inside of it to help distribute blows and also to make the wear of armor more comfortable. Gambesons were typically made out of wool, linen, and in the late Middle Ages you do get silk shows up quite a bit. And how old Gambesons are or how far back they go, I have no idea. I know at the Battle of Visby in 1361, when they went through a number of the coifs, which is the mail over the head, they found layers of wool, sometimes 3-4 layers thick, that were, it looks like it's stitched to the inside of it. So it's more of a lining, but it still kind of serves the same purpose. I suspect as long as people have worn metal armor, they found some way to pad it out. If not just to make it more comfortable, then also to help distribute the blow, which it really does. It helps substantially. So I'm going to take you through my 3 Gambesons and everything that's wrong with them, because there is a lot wrong with them. I'm not even going to go into the material because the material's wrong on all 3 of them. So this is my first one that I wore with my Norse persona, and there's no historic base for this at all. But because we fight with baseball bats, essentially, and I wear it under mail, I did reinforce the sternum with a 14-ounce saddle leather. Also kidneys, I put some thick leather plates over the kidneys too. And this was actually drawn from inspiration from the IOTV that I wore in Iraq on my second deployment. And so it will actually see right over top. Yeah, this, anachronistic, absolutely. Grommets, absolutely anachronistic, completely wrong. But so it sits over here, drops down to about knee length, and then would actually come around the front and lace up. And this guy's kind of lost a bit of its fluff, but it worked beautifully well under mail, also with rigid arms, which are also anachronistic. But again, it's sport combat, so you have to adhere to some rules for safety. You don't want to be breaking bones. So, but this served me for a lot of years. Okay, eventually I upgraded to this guy. Now what you'll notice with this and what my other Gambeson used to be is that it's got a lot of fluff to it, and that's because they're worn under mail. And in this case I wore it under a Visby style coat of plates, which had a lot of flex to it, so I wanted a little bit more cushion behind when I get hit. Plate armor is more rigid, you don't need as much cushioning. Putting on voiders for that time period? No, that's wrong. But I didn't feel like wearing a full mail shirt underneath of it, and it covered the gaps in my plates. Also, I stitched on a mail skirt, which also is wrong. But again, I guess I got lazy and didn't feel like wearing a full mail shirt underneath of it, even though I've got several. So, I'm not going to try this on, but it stitches in the back. It's not bad. I haven't worn this for nearly as much fighting as I did the other one, which is why it's got a lot more fluff to it still. This is my current one that I've actually hand-stitched this son of a gun, and it has taken me ages. That was a stupid idea. I'm gonna use a sewing machine next time. This is gonna go under my plate armor, and so it is quite a bit thinner, although it does have padding between the two layers. I'm actually gonna take the voiders off of that other Gambeson and stitch them onto here. The skirt is also gonna come off, but it's not gonna be stitched onto the Gambeson. I'm gonna put a leather belt, and it's actually gonna belt up around the waist, over top of the Gambeson, under the plates, under the placard and the folds off the breastplate. So, but anyway, this is slowly coming together. It does come all the way down to knee length, which when you look at illustrations from like the time of like your Cherbourg S18, that kind of armor out of Italy and stuff, the fashion, most of what I've seen is a lot shorter, but I really like the longer Gambeson, the mail skirts, etc. I like the way they feel, I like the way they look. Again, it's going to be generally a little anachronistic. I'm sure if I search hard enough I can find some illustration to justify my use of the length, but I don't care. I'm just doing it because it's fun and I wanted to hand stitch a Gambeson. So I'm going to put some voiders on. Then I'm going to put some arming points on, and then we're going to start putting plates on here, and that's going to be awesome. So, one thing you do find in late Middle Ages is where a Gambeson under mail serves pretty much just the purpose of being a quilted material under mail. When you get in late Middle Ages, you get a lot of arming points. Stitched onto your armor for attaching armor, and so it becomes almost kind of a suspension harness for holding your plates in place, which is what this is going to serve when it's done. got my mail sewn on now. My voiders are in place. Also, hem the sleeves where I want them to be. And off my old Gambeson, or my previous Gambeson, I went ahead and took off my leather strips for lacing because it's good leather. Leather's expensive, and they're the same size because both are built to fit my body. So I'm gonna stitch these on, and then we'll be done. We'll be ready to start putting arming points on so we can attach the plates and all that garbage.